Welcome, Sagittarius, Saggy, to the Temple of Consciousness. My name is Ava. I'm inviting you in for your September 2024 Astrology Tarot Forecast. This will be a reading that's relevant to you. If your sun sign, your moon sign, or your rising sign is Sagittarius. Now, you're the last sign that I'm doing this month, and so you'll be the first next month. What I do is I start with the astrological aspects of transiting Mars and Venus. So let's start with Mars. What is Mars?
Mars, known to the ancients as the god of war, transits each house for 40 days and symbolizes aggressive, forward-moving energy, passionate energy. Which house is Mars energizing this month?
So your Mars has landed in your 8th house. This is a very powerful position for Mars. Any house that Mars occupies is ignited by its initiating power, its aggressive power, awakening power. And the 8th house is about, traditionally they say, taxes or debt, sex or passion, death or transformation, deep spiritual transformation, and mundanely partnerships, shared resources. And when Mars enters into this house, this is the places in your life, your inheritance, the money that you share with another, your obligations towards the government, tax-wise or otherwise, and death, meaning allowing for deep spiritual revolution or change. When Mars is here, these places in your life, these aspects of your life become energized. And you feel aggressive, more aggressive. It certainly in when we're talking about passion or sexuality, it heightens libido. You might be happy to hear that. But it brings that competitive, ambitious perspective and energy into areas, again, like partnerships, your shared resources. So there's more attention, more energy driven into these areas. So that's what Mars has to say as to what might be going on for you this month. Now let's look into Venus. What is Venus?
Venus, the planet of love, symbolizing pleasure, beauty, compassion, peace, wealth. Venus transits about 5 weeks in each sign. Where is your Venus this month?
Your Venus, your love symbol, has landed in the 11th house of friendship, social circles, your reputation, how you're seen by others. And when Venus transits this house, in fact, it's even being favorably aspected by Jupiter as well. So what's going on now is that there seems to be a lot of good fortune, happy times, meeting new people, widening your social circle, getting out there, being seen, and involving yourself in group events or group activity. This is about you widening your friendship circle, being loving and compassionate to those whom you don't know, or giving more love and compassion to the friends that you do have, deepening those connections, which is a very beautiful thing. Now, I think that's what I'll have to say about the astrological influences. But this month, I'm going to add something as well. I'm going to add a full moon lunar eclipse. And what is that?
A full moon lunar eclipse, a very rare event, happening an average of twice a year. It brings mystery, magic, and madness to the moment.
So this very special lunar eclipse falls in your 4th house. This is a beautiful place for it to land, actually, but it does, because it brings more emotional awareness into your family. And maybe you even develop much more of an emotional curiosity about your lineage, where you came from, your ancestors. There's something extremely ancestral about that. You look to the past to become informed about who you are, what you are. So this is a very deep transit, involving perhaps even your father or father figures or fatherland. So all of that could be playing energetically in your world environment. So I'm going to end with that. We're going to end the astrological input and move on into the tarot. So let's move on. So, I always say so. I notice that when I'm editing. You know, there are verbal habits that we develop that are they're like tics, very difficult to get rid of, if you know what I mean. So let me take a moment to shuffle just a little bit, because I shuffled before, but just to lend a little extra randomness. Okay. This is a 4-card spread. The first card represents the overall mood or energy of the month. And we have, oh, that's interesting. All right. We have the 2 of Cups. This is the Minor Arcana love card. And certainly with Mars, so active in the 8th of partnerships, shared resources, and also the 11th house of friendships, social networking. This is the perfect visual illustration of that. These two people are intimate, they're close, they're facing each other, they're absorbed in one another, they're pledging to one another, they're on the same level intellectually and emotionally. Whatever pledge that they're giving to one another, whatever contract is being agreed upon, will benefit both equally. So while we have this activation of the 8th house of partnership, this bodes very well for your either intimate or business partnerships or even friendships. So again, a wonderful message from Spirit that you be aware that if you're coming to an agreement with someone about anything, that it has a blessing attached to it. So, which is very good. And the second position is the position of what challenges you. Well, death. And it's interesting again because we've got Mars activating the 8th house. That's the scorpionic house of death, resurrection, transformation. And that's what death, this is not a small change, but a very dramatic one, as death implies a change from one form to another, as the caterpillar transforms into a butterfly. So there's nothing dire about it. But it is serious in that you must take it spiritually seriously and accept change, basically is what it's saying. Change in others, change in yourself, change in the world. And so it's all about adaptation at a very visceral level, a deep level, where your soul is involved in this transformation. I believe, we are on cyclical change patterns during our life, usually in a 7-year pattern. That's why we have 7 weeks. 7 days in a week. You see, there's something about the 7 that has a mystical attribute to it. I digress. Death is beautiful. It's a beautiful challenge. And Sagittarians are able to be mercurial, fluid, That's why they make good teachers, because they can assume the knowledge and live it, Anyway, all right. The third position is the unexpected, the surprise, something you may not have somehow anticipated. We always have those. And it's, again, the 8 of Cups. Cups symbolize feeling. So it's talking about an unexpected emotional event or response or experience. The illustration is very beautiful because it in one glance shows you a very deep story. The Eight of Cups, and again, cups are about feelings, about emotions, about putting your heart and soul into something. And there's 8 of them, and they're stacked beautifully. So the implication is that there's been a lot of attention given to the organization and artistic, creative input into the events and into the situations that those cups represent. Those things that made you feel, that meant something to you on a deep level. And we have our protagonist who has this traveling jacket on, and he's moving away from us. He's leaving behind that well-organized, very intentionally made artifice behind him. So it's about having the courage to leave behind what you know now is not relevant to you or relevant to your dreams, what you want in the future. And so you need to go through this emotional sacrifice, in a sense, letting go of what once had a great deal of meaning for you, and that you put a lot of heart and soul into that. And that's why this is so moving, right? The reading is very moving. And let's sum it up at the end. We end with a major arcana ending, and that is the world. The world. Well, this is the very last card of the sequence that leads from the Fool to the enlightenment that is suggested by this card. So it means something is now complete. You've come to the end of a cycle. And there may be still a few remnants of the past that cling to you, as that scarf clings to the maiden before she's reborn. And that's what all these other cards, I think, have been suggesting, is that you have to surrender something and let a major change take place and not fear it, but know that as the caterpillar, you're going to become a butterfly. And to do that, you have to enter into the cocoon. And you have to literally change every cell in your body as a caterpillar does. A very remarkable natural phenomenon, I think. So that is how it ends. It ends on a high note. And once you release yourself from those remnants that bind you to the past, bind you to what you no longer feel is relevant to what you want in the future. So, that said, let's just summarize this. Mars, Venus, and the lunar eclipse are in signs that and houses that are social, having to do with the other, So the test here is how one treats the other with love and respect and harmony, as is suggested by the Two of Cups. Their challenge is to let it all go, let the old dissolve, so that the new can come and bloom and blossom into beauty. I think that says it. I think that's what the month is about. And I hope it plays out as beautifully as I see it from here. So thank you very much for coming to the reading. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. And I will appreciate very much if you send me some messages, because I really do enjoy your messages. So thank you for those who take the time. I'll see you next month, and I'm sending you my love.